Good afternoon and welcome to Spotlight Africa. We're beaming live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. I am Uyai MM. Let's look at the headlines coming out of Africa this afternoon. Cameroon's judges reject election rigging complaints. Top opposition politician arrested days before Tanzania's election. First domestic flight lands in Sudan's capital Khartoum since war began. The European Union, Egypt hold inaugural joint summit. In other news, Togo bus accident kills 5 French charity workers. These stories are all just ahead on Spotlight Africa. Stay with us. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us once again. Cameroon is our first stop, where we see judges dismissing calls for the partial or total cancellation of the heavily disputed presidential election, saying they will announce the results on Monday. Major cities in the country have been rocked by protest, with opposition supporters alleging that the 12 October poll was marred by irregularities, including ballot stuffing. Judges on the Constitutional Council dismissed 8 petitions, citing insufficient evidence of irregularities or a lack of jurisdiction to annul results. Recall that opposition candidate Issa Chiroma Bakari has declared himself the winner, a claim rejected by allies of 92-year-old President Paul Biya, who is seeking another 7-year term. Away from that, a senior official of Tanzania's main opposition party has been arrested amid a crackdown on dissenting voices ahead of next week's general election. John Hechi, deputy chairperson of Chadema, was detained while attempting to attend the treason trial of party leader Tundu Lissu. In a statement, Chadema alleged that the government planned to arrest senior party leaders and detain them until after the elections, which will take place 29th of October. The government has not responded to this accusation. Chadema said Hechi was apprehended as he arrived at the High Court in Dar es Salaam on Wednesday. The party also alleged that Hechi is being transported to Tarime, a northern town more than 1,300 kilometers away from Dar es Salaam. In another development, a domestic passenger flight landed at Khartoum International Airport in Sudan's capital on Wednesday for the first time since the war broke out over 2 years ago, potentially marking the gradual reopening of air traffic. Sudan's Media and Culture Ministry confirmed a Badr Airlines flight from Port Sudan landed. The airport previously received flights carrying Sudanese military leader General Abdel Fattah Burhan at least twice this year. The army in March captured the airport in March from the rival Rapid Support Forces paramilitary group. The war broke out when the military and the RSF turned against each other in a power struggle. Although the military holds the capital, the RSF still controls parts of the western Darfur region and other areas. The fighting has killed at least 40,000 people, according to the World Health Organization, and displaced as many as 12 million others. Over 24 million people are facing acute food insecurity, the UN has reported. Now, according to an army statement, the RSF fired drones at the airport at dawn on Tuesday, but the military intercepted them. Recall that RSF leader Mohammed Hamdan Daglo Moussa, also known as Hamdeti, later on Tuesday night threatened in a video speech that his forces would continue targeting the airport. Elsewhere, the high-level meeting taking place on Wednesday is expected to enhance political and economic collaboration between the European Union and Egypt. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi had arrived in Brussels for the inaugural EU-Egypt summit, which took place Wednesday. The core agenda of the summit centers on bolstering bilateral ties and promoting stability, peace, and prosperity across the region. It is a direct result of the Strategic and Comprehensive Partnership Agreement sealed in March 2024, which seeks to elevate relations between the two entities. Furthermore, the summit paid significant attention to the ongoing situation in the Gaza Strip. Egypt is viewed as an essential player in sustaining the current ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Discussions are likely to cover Egypt's potential leadership in a proposed multinational force in Gaza and its integral role in the area's post-conflict reconstruction. In a separate development, Placide Conan is using his slam poetry performances to protest Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara's bid for a fourth term in Saturday's election. The 33-year-old, who lives in the capital Abidjan, told the Associated Press that he is frustrated with the country's struggles, despite being one of West Africa's economic powerhouses and the world's largest cocoa producer. Côte d'Ivoire faces growing inequality and a poverty rate of 37.5%. More than three-quarters of its population is under the age of 35. According to analysts, the 83-year-old Ouattara is expected to win the election and extend his rule, which began in 2011. Key opposition leaders have been disqualified, including former Credit Suisse CEO Tidjane Thiam. A local court ruled that Thiam held French citizenship, which Ivorian law prohibits for presidential candidates. He called the ruling abusive and renounced his French nationality in March. Ouattara now faces a weakened opposition of four candidates, among them former Trade Minister Jean-Louis Billon and former First Lady Simone Gbagbo. This election reflects a broader trend of long-serving African leaders clashing with the young population. 5 French citizens have died while on a charitable mission in West Africa after their bus crashed off a bridge in Togo. Confirming Tuesday's road accident in the center of the coastal nation, the Togolese government gave a toll of 5 dead and 8 wounded without specifying the victims' nationalities. According to an official from the group's branch in La Sautet in southwestern France, the hometown of 3 of the deceased, the victims were members of the Lions Club charity en route to open a maternity clinic in neighboring Benin Republic. On its website, the Lions Club, an international health and environment charity, says it has 1.4 million members across the world. In a string of sad developments, 2 buses crashed early Wednesday on at least 46. Ugandan police had earlier reported a death toll of 63, but later reduced it to 46, saying some victims found unconscious at the accident scene were still alive. Several other people were injured in the crash that happened after midnight local time on northern Uganda. According to police, 2 bus drivers going in opposite directions attempted to overtake other vehicles and collided near the town of Ndongo. Fatal road crashes are common in Uganda and elsewhere in East Africa. Police usually blame such accidents on speeding drivers. In August, mourners back home from a funeral in southwestern Kenya overturned and plunged into a ditch, killing at least 25 people and injuring several others. We'll bring you more stories just after the break. Stay with us. This is still Spotlight Africa. Thank you for staying tuned. We head now to Tunisia, where we see at least 40 migrants, including children, reported to have died after their boat sank off the coast of Tunisia, in one of the deadliest maritime disasters in the region this year. According to an official, the boat sank off the Mediterranean port of Madia in central Tunisia while carrying about 70 migrants. All the people on board were from sub-Saharan Africa, the official added, without providing further details. This is the latest disaster to hit migrants trying to cross the Mediterranean from Africa to Europe. According to data shared by the UN, over 210,000 people tried to cross the central Mediterranean in 2023. More than 60,000 were intercepted and sent back to African shores, while nearly 2,000 lost their lives at sea. About 30 migrants were rescued in the latest disaster, which occurred on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Tunisian authorities have opened an investigation into the causes and circumstances surrounding the boat's sinking. We move now to South Africa, where authorities have suspended 8 pupils linked to a case of alleged bullying that has caused national outrage. A video showing a horrific assault of Millenothorne High School in Cape Town last week has been widely shared on social media. Several boys are seen repeatedly hitting a fellow pupil with various objects, including a hockey stick, hosepipe and belt. According to reports, the boy was one of 9 allegedly assaulted. Angry parents gathered outside the school on Wednesday in protest and were dispersed by police firing tear gas. They were joined by members of political parties who announced planned demonstrations at the school. In schools is a significant problem in South Africa, with videos depicting the violent attacks often going viral. Most horrific to emerge in recent years. The 16-year-old boy being attacked in the video told local online publication his son had had cancer and had completed his chemotherapy earlier this year. The teen's uncle later told local broadcaster that the boy had since been removed from the school. Meanwhile, various organizations have also condemned the incident, which took place on the 16th of October, while the police have confirmed that an assault case has been opened. Swagiza Mining said that M23 rebels occupying its gold concession in the Democratic Republic of Congo have looted at least 500 kilograms of bullion since May. The mine is in South Kivu province in the east of the country, where the Rwanda-backed militants staged a lightning offensive earlier this year, seizing swaths of territory. Describing itself as a Chinese-owned Congo-based company, it told reporters that the current value of the looted gold was around $70 million. It claimed the rebels, assisted by mine employees, smuggled out the first 50 kilograms of gold shortly after their takeover in May. An estimated 100 kilograms per month has been lost since then, it said, together with about $5 million worth of equipment and other materials. That's the much we are able to bring to you today on Spotlight Africa, bringing you stories all around the continent. This has been put together by Spectrum Television. Do well to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. Spotlight Africa, we are MM. Good afternoon.